Hi everyone. So I got a video request from an individual who has requested a video in the past, and this is kind of a follow-up to that. This was the video on sex and relationships that I did, I think it was just a few weeks ago. So for context, I'm going to read the question that this individual sent to me, and then I'm going to give my perspective. So I have one question that I truly seek answer for in relation to the video you made on your channel with the questions and suggestions I had. Does sex make us generally designed to be selfish, to have ego, to be better than the rest, meaning to have more than them, to enjoy what we have, to believe in what we have so that we are full instead of empty? And we can use that to our advantage so that when others see us, we are more attractive. Because if I, for example, go to a woman and say, hello, I'm nothing, she's going to say, yes, okay, however, I'm looking for someone who is complete. Does that mean that what we perceive as being full is not actually full? Why is this not reflected in the practicality of this world? So there are a lot of dimensions coming through in this one post. And I'm going to do something very irritating. I am going to not answer any of those questions. Because at the end of the day, what's more happening here is not so much that these questions are that me answering or anyone answering these questions is going to create a sense of fulfillment, because it's not actually the questions that are the issue. What is the issue in this particular case is that there is a degree of obsession going on with sex, relationships, and members of the opposite sex, of trying to create whatever vision it is that you have of what you think that relationships should be, and what you think you should be in order for someone else to appreciate you or to be attracted to you. So this has more to do with your relationship with yourself than it does to you finding a partner. So some good questions to ask yourself would be, for example, what is it that I want in a relationship? What do I want from a partner? Is there something that I feel that I am missing, that I want someone to give to me or fulfill within me? Or do I want someone else to complete me in some way? Where have I been developing my understanding of relationships from? For example, if you're sourcing from media like TV shows and movies and fairy tales and things, then that's going to create a very contrasting definition and understanding of relationships compared to the reality, because the reality is that most relationships do not happen the way that they happen in those fairy tales. And at the end of the day, a relationship is hard work. It's one of the most difficult things that any of us are going to do in our lifetimes. Okay, so another point to consider within that relationship with self is developing the understanding of self to see that there is never just one thing that creates who we are. There's never just one thing that contributes to, for example, our personality. So no, sex is not going to create ego. Sex is not going to create fulfillment or enjoyment. Relationships will not create those things either. Every part of us is created from a combination of factors, ranging from our DNA to how we were raised to events that happened in our lives. So we need to remember to look at ourselves and each other holistically, to see that there is more to us than just these few things that our society is so obsessed with, like sex, relationships, money, and things like that. Yes, those things are a part of our lives, and yes, they can be very enjoyable parts of our lives. Not so much the money part, but sex and love and relationships. Those are the things that can develop a lot of satisfaction for us. So just because they're big parts of our lives doesn't mean that it's all of us. Who I am in my relationship is not about who my partner is or what we do together or even the fact that we are together. Who I am in my relationship is the same as who I am everywhere else, and what I want from my relationship is I want a platform where I can be supported in all areas of my life. In any case, so I think maybe I will answer the last question. Why are these points not reflected in the world on a practical level? Well, what in this world, with regards to things that we've created, has been practical? Okay, we are a notoriously impractical species. So, yeah, sorry. It's no surprise that sex, relationships, attraction, all of this stuff is exactly the same issues, where we take something that could be so fantastic and we twist it into this big pile of steaming turd. So we have a lot of work to do, and just because you're at a point now where you're not sure how things work, you're not sure how all the pieces fit together, you're not sure where you are even, or maybe even who you are in your life, that's okay. Don't get stuck on asking those questions the whole time. Start looking inwards. Start looking at what are the thoughts and the emotions and the experiences within you that are actually forming who you are here and now. So, like in this instance, what I suggested earlier was to start asking yourself, what are all the things that are driving this obsession with sex and relationships? Why is it so important to you? Start to understand yourself in that way. This is not about trying to practice psychology on yourself and get yourself to some profound realization. There's no profound realization. It's small little segments of understanding, and it's understanding ourselves. It's seeing why we are who we are. And when we can see why we are who we are, we can start to say, okay, I actually don't really like that reason for this behavior that I've been having for so many years. This is not actually something that reflects who I want to be, so let me start changing that why and start changing myself to create myself deliberately and with awareness, meaning I know exactly what I'm thinking. I know why I'm thinking it. I know what I'm going to say. I'm not going to lose control of myself and allow an emotional outburst to destroy a relationship. All of these things come from that self-reflection, that intimate relationship with self, where we can look at ourselves without shame and see ourselves for who we are. Because through that, we gain an understanding of ourselves, and through that understanding we empower ourselves to be able to create new patterns, new personalities, new behaviors, new support structures, all of these things for us to make ourselves better, to empower us to develop the relationships that we want. And an interesting thing about relationships is that the more you're looking for a relationship and the more you're looking for the perfect partner, the less likely you are to find them, because when you're so focused on someone out there, you're forgetting about you, and it's kind of like you lose touch with yourself. And a real connection with another person is quite difficult when you're not really home in yourself. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, I hope that you found this supportive. If you have any specific questions, then please send them through. I'll do a follow-up for you. Thanks everyone for watching. You can support me on Patreon or on Steemit, which is like a social network that has its own cryptocurrency, which you can send to other Steemit members. And yeah, the links for those sites are in the description. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.